Yeah, and I think the other part too is the reminder that the remembrance that human beings love challenge, right? We forget that when we're in the throes of an immensely powerful form of challenge, but we forget that we love it, and we crave it, or else we wouldn't be doing things to, like sports wouldn't exist if we didn't like challenge. We love it, we thrive there, and we thrive within these. If we don't have forms of limitation imposed on us, we create them. And then that's our form of play, right? It's like, how have we forgotten this when we move into the crux of our own experiences in life, when we fall into that experience of limitation, or when our systems are compromised, or when we move into vulnerability? It's the same thing. It's the same dance. It's like, oh, okay, here's a new version of limitation. And like any sport, my goal is to thrive within the confines of this expression of limitation, and to be graceful within it. And that's the invitation in sports, right? The people that we admire in sports do they're graceful and poetic, like the Michael Jordans of the world, like as they're in that space, it's art, And I think of my version. I mean, I'm never going to dunk a basketball, but I want my life. I want my versions of vulnerability when I'm compromised to be where my art is born. Because I think there's a tremendous beauty that lives inside that vulnerability, that even if my version of it is entirely different from someone else's, if you understand what lives in that space, you're connected to everyone, because everybody knows what that space feels like within them. And the strange dance to it is that even though every single person is different, we're all connected in that space of vulnerability. And you notice this anytime you've ever been in an argument with anyone. The argument is over the moment even one person becomes vulnerable within that. When one person shows vulnerability, the argument is over, right? And it either ends in a horrifically awful way, or it ends in a really beautiful way, but the argument's over, and some people take advantage of that vulnerability, other people don't. Other people rise to meet it, and they join you in that vulnerability. There's infinite variables that take place within that, but the battle ends the moment you become vulnerable. And there's a tremendous, and this is the part that took me a long time to realize, is that there's a tremendous strength that lives inside of that vulnerability. And it takes a long time to cultivate. But I think it's more powerful than any version of defense ever could be. Because you can't connect when you're defended. You can connect when you're vulnerable. And so it seems to me that vulnerability is far more worthy a realm to explore than being defended ever could be,